Today I'm doing a section that I've been looking forward to pretty much since I started planning this trip. If you Google cycling in Norway, you won't go far before you find some mention of the Rallarvegen, in English the Navvies Road. It was built between 1902 and 1904 to provide access for workers and materials during the construction of the Bergen line. And when the railway was finished, they left the road initially just as kind of maintenance. But now, as one of the, if not the most popular cycle route in Norway. I had really wanted to try and ride this bit in half decent weather, and so the plan I finally came up with was to ride to Haugesund, which is right at the trailhead, and stay in a hostel there. And that would mean I could wait out the bit of nasty weather that was coming in, then get a super early start, straight onto the gravel, smash it in a day. This was a really good plan, but it's been scuppered in a few quite significant ways. So firstly, I'm pretty early in the season, and so the hostel doesn't actually open until the 28th of June, which is about 10 days away, I think. So I had to stay down at the campsite in Yellow instead, which means I've got 25 kilometers to do before I even pick up the trail today. Secondly, the weather here just kind of seems to do whatever the hell it wants, really. I mean, 1 minute it's all sunshine and smiles, and then you look at it funny and all hell breaks loose, and it's torrential this, that and the other coming in from every which way. So the rain that I had paused to avoid never really materialised anyway. And in fact, the smart money is now saying that it's in fact coming in with renewed vigour later on today, which is a bummer, because with the added miles and the bad weather, I don't think I'm going to be able to do this all in a day. I don't want to rush it, so I think I'm probably going to have to spend the night out on a mountainside somewhere, which is alright. You know, I think it's going to be wet tonight and a little bit windy, but it's not going to be too cold, so it's fine. The last point on the agenda is the fact that I got about an hour's sleep last night. I think because I had a massive lie-in and then did a day of nothing. Then I got noisy tent neighbours, a crying baby moved into the campsite, and barking dogs live next door to the campsite. I just woke up when the sun came up, which is about 3 here, and thought, let's just go. So I got on the road at 4:30, I think, and it's now about 5, which is bad because I'm going to be absolutely shattered by this afternoon. But it's good because I'm on the road early while the skies are still clear. So basically, I don't know what the hell's going on, and I don't really know where I'm going to end up tonight. So this is going to be fun. I've made it to Haugesund. It's about 10 to 7, I think, and down there, that's the head of the Rallarvegen. That's where we're going. Over there, that's the hostel where I was going to stay, which is closed. I mean, the whole place is It's a bit of a ghost town. Apparently in July and August 20,000 people will come and ride this trail. So actually could be a blessing. It's always nice to get in and beat the crowds, have it all to myself. So I'm going to crack on. We're going to see what the weather does. If it holds off and stays like this, maybe we will get it done today. But if the rain comes in early afternoon like it says it's going to, then I'm going to pitch up somewhere before I get too wet, because there's a fair bit of snow up there. It's nippy, but it's all right. But I think if the sun goes in, it will get chilly. So anyway, let's get on this thing. Just a very quick exploratory pause. I found snow again, this time with a cool snow tunnel. I'm going to go and look at it. Very, very cool. You can just about see light up the other end, but I'm not going near it. It could collapse at any moment and bury me alive. I don't want to be buried alive. I've got a lot of cycling to do today, so onwards and upwards. I've been riding for an hour now, and other than biting my cheek when I was eating some nuts, this is just epic. I mean, I never considered myself to be a mountain type of guy. I always thought I was more of a forest type of guy. But this is splendid. I mean, so far it has delivered already on rugged beauty, epic views, rushing rivers. It's so quiet. It's weird, even though you can hear the wind and I can hear the water and I can hear the birds, it's still so quiet. Fantastic, loving it. Sincerely hope that by this point I'm not just boring you to tears with hundreds and hundreds of shots of distant snowy mountains and lakes, because I am filming a lot of that stuff. I mean, it's just very hard to stay off the shutter button. All I need now is to see a herd of reindeer or a herd of trolls. Is it a herd of trolls? What's the collective noun for trolls? Maybe a grot of trolls. See a grot of trolls lumping across the hillside. Eyes peeled. I don't know if I'm the first person to come through here since it last snowed. No, I think I can see bike lines going through, but they're pretty old. Wow, snowdrift across the road in June. Who'd have thunk it? here's the thing. I've made it to Finse, which, as far as I know, is the highest point on this route. So I think all the big climbing's done. It's about 9:30. Now, the weather was set to go bad about 12. I mean, at the moment there is still not a cloud in the sky and hardly a breath of wind. So I'm thinking, we're at the top. It's mostly level and then down from here. And we've got 2.5 hours before the clouds come in, and probably 3 or 4 before the really horrible rain sets in. I reckon we make a dash for it. I reckon we do it. I reckon we smash a banana, peanut butter sandwich, rug bread, back on the bike, and blast it to Florm. We do this bad boy in one day. What do you think, people? Are you with me? Are you with me? Wow, Finse is a strange old town. I'm guessing it's one of those places that only exists because it's the highest point on some route or other. I don't know why else you'd have a town up here, but this one's got a hotel and it's got a really rickety looking drag lift up there. I guess people come up and do some skiing. But at the moment, it's absolutely dead. There's 2 guys out there doing some work on the road or one of the buildings. But other than that, not a soul. I think a train comes through in a couple of hours, so maybe some people will get off then and go hiking, or maybe they bring their bikes in and bike back down one way or the other. I don't know. But at the moment it's just me and a few birds in the sunshine, and I'm almost convincing myself that there's some weather deity up there who's looked down and seen my smiling little happy face and has said, you know what, let's leave off that rain for a few hours, let's let him have his fun. It'd be very nice, because I think there's a pretty epic descent coming up and it would be nice to do it in the sunshine, but we shall see. I have feasted, and now back to the horses. So, turn up for the books here. There's a lot more snow on the road out this side of town. That was like 50 or 60 metres of deep snow I just pushed through. It's alright to push through, it's quite solid, but I'm just thinking I don't want to get into a snowfield on the bike. So, I'm going to go and poke my head around this next headlandy bit and see what it looks like. We're not going up any higher, so in theory if I can get across this plateau it'll all be good. But if it's just snow out there around the corner, then I think I'm going to have to go back to Finse and either try and get on a train if one comes through, or head back down to where I started from and do a major route alteration. Yeah, don't know. Hopefully it was just stuff coming in off this face. We'll have a look round there. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, let's do some exploring. Try not to die. It's not looking good. Not looking good at all. I think, yeah, that is impassable, I think. Bugger. I just don't know. I mean, I could hike a bike across that, but what happens? Okay, let's go and have a look around the corner. I don't know if this is going to be doable. I mean, it's doable. It's only a mile or two until we start dropping down again, but it's going to be hard work. I unclipped the bags, I carried everything over that really deep bit, and it seems to be getting better. And maybe that was just a little snow hole in the sheltered bit on that little horn of rock. So I'm going to carry on. Next time I come to a hiker bike bit though, I think I'm going to reconsider. I've just seen a couple of people hiking back the other way along the train tracks, which seem to be mostly clear. There was one drift across them, so there's no trains coming through. So if it gets really, really bad, I'll just push back along the tracks, I think. But we shall see. Hopefully we're past the worst of it. It may be wishful thinking, but I'm sure the snow patches are getting fewer and further between. The road's in pretty bad shape though. There's a lot of places where you can see it started being washed away just by meltwater. But I think as long as I go slow, don't break an ankle, and don't fall into any caverns under the snow or anything, I think I'll be fine. I'm starting to head down now. I think there's maybe one more slight rise, but it's only tens of meters, so it shouldn't be any bother. The sky's still looking okay, wind's picking up a bit, but I think we'll be all good. I really hope I don't have to do a row meres out here. Oh man, I'm getting tired. I'm getting tired. I should have slept more last night. Should have left this a month before I did it. Anyway, it's fine. It's fine. Worst comes to the worst, there's loads of nice sheltered spots to camp. Worst comes to the worst comes to the worst. I mean, there's loads of cabins up here. There's a cabin every half a mile. So if I get stuck up here and bits start dropping off, I'll just break into one of them for the night and say sorry very much. I'm not worried. I survived to edit and upload. It's fine. I don't die. Troll! Not really. This is undoubtedly now the hardest day's cycling I've ever done, because a lot of it isn't cycling, it's pushing and carrying through the snow. I'm convinced I can do it. It's not scary. I mean, there's a couple of bits that I haven't filmed because I wouldn't want my mum to worry, but on the whole it's just really hard work. But I'm pretty sure from here I can see the ridge which marks the beginning of the proper full descent down into Florm. So I'm not going to film anymore unless anything super interesting happens like troll footprints. I'm just going to push on. I'll get back to this shortly. So I'm ending this video with a bit of a retrospective commentary. Making these videos is very much secondary to me to actually doing the ride, and this is most obvious when things get a bit stressful or when I get tired and I just stop filming. So I've been over the footage that you've just watched and I've realised it doesn't actually do a very good job of explaining what was going on up there. So basically, after Finse, the snow on the road got a lot deeper and the snow patches got a lot more regular. At first it was only sort of 10-20 metres and I could push through. Then they got bigger and deeper and wider. In the end, I was having to unclip the bags and carry stuff across piece by piece. And it got to the point a couple of times when I actually started thinking, is this a good idea? Should I be up here? You know, is this sensible? There was one point when the snow was coming down on a very steep slope and the road was cut into it. So the snow face was steep. And I had to take the bags off I had to go across kicking steps into the snow and then take the bags over one by one and slide them down the other side to the road. And then as I was taking my bike over, I lost my footing and I slid about 20 feet down to the road, you know, safe. But I looked back up and just thought, I can't get back up there. Definitely can't get back up there with the bike. So all of a sudden, you've crossed this point of no return without really thinking about it. And you do start to think, what happens if I break a leg up here? You know, what am I going to do? And yeah, I wasn't really scared. You could break a leg at your local trail centre and be stuck on your own. It was more just that feeling of having bitten off more than I'd wanted to chew and not being 100% prepared. You know, if I'd known it was going to be like that, I wouldn't have gone that way. And having got through and down to Florm and spoken to a couple of cyclists here, the Rallarvegen doesn't open until July. It's considered closed to cyclists at the moment because of exactly this reason. It fills up with snow and it's a little sheltered pocket where it just doesn't melt. So I should have done my research better. I don't want to be one of those YouTube people who puts up videos of themselves doing stupid things and getting into trouble and then doesn't put their hands up to it. I should have done my research better. I should have looked into it more, but I didn't. Hopefully I learned a lesson. Let's not dwell on it. What I can say is that it is an unbelievable trail. If you get the chance to ride it, do it. That first section up to Finse is fantastic, really good surface, not too much of a climb, fantastic views, beautiful. At Finse, I guess, in season, you could get a waffle and some coffee and it would be great. And then you've got that amazing descent across that plateau first would be fantastic without the snow. Through the boulder fields, you've got waterfalls and mountains and lakes and glaciers. Then there's quite a long, quite technical descent, lots of hairpins, lots of unfenced edges that you wouldn't want to go off. Very rocky, very loose, lots of stuff gullied out and potholed by the meltwater that they might repair, I guess, but it's quite a difficult ride. Then there's a kind of section where you track along next to the train tunnels and it's all a bit Mad Max, everything's metal and there's piles of industrial building supplies kicking around and things. And then you drop down into this sort of crack in the world that's the top of the valley that leads down to Florm, and it's all jungle and tree-covered cliffs and waterfalls. It's like Rivendell and Indiana Jones, and it's amazing. You know, boiling torrents of water and mirror-still pools, and it's really, really beautiful. It's an amazing ride. I would do it again in a heartbeat in July or August. I'd love to do it with no panniers. I'd love to do it on a full sus bike. I mean, yeah, if you're ever in the area, then I highly recommend it. It's a fantastic ride. So that's my Rallarvegen story. I'm sorry it got a bit wandering and I didn't film more, but yeah, it got a little bit hairy up there for a moment. So maybe a cautionary tale. If you're gonna do it, definitely do it. It's brilliant. If you're gonna do it at this time of year, be prepared for snow and probably do it with a friend. That would have made it hundreds of times easier. But anyway, I survived. I'm in Florm, and tomorrow I'm going to cycle up yet another mountain on the next leg of this journey. So yeah, I'm sure I'll tell you all about it very soon. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.